I touched on before, but I actually kind of want to talk about it again. At the end of the day, all paths lead to effort. I talk a lot about purpose and the importance of having purpose with what you do because it allows you to continue to go through the trials and tribulations that it takes to become great. And that's true because when you're fulfilled by what you do, you're willing to sacrifice more and put in more effort. And that is true. And I'll kind of separate purpose from passion because passion is more like the emotion and just enjoying every single second of what you are doing. I would say purpose is like, no, this is this is about a responsibility thing. I'm responsible to doing this thing. So it doesn't matter how much pain and suffering I go through for it. In the same way, just how I just briefly talked about family. Like family is one of those things where many men are willing to sacrifice their happiness in order to serve their family, And passion is more that kind of thing where you're only doing this thing because you enjoy the vibes of it, you enjoy the emotion behind it. And it's super important to understand that to achieve and gain a ton of power in your life, it eventually all just becomes work. Everything always breaks down to you have to work harder every single time. If you want to gain power, it breaks down to you have to put in more effort, you have to make more sacrifices. That's what it becomes. It's not like you could have whatever vehicle for whatever goals you're trying to achieve right now. For example, you have whatever vehicle, whether you're an athlete, going into politics, becoming a lawyer, whatever the fuck it is. And you might be passionate about that path right now. You're like, this is great. I have doing this thing. I'm doing the thing that I love. But if you really want to be the best at that thing, if you want to reach the pinnacle of power in that whatever path you're on, it all just becomes work. It basically becomes just passionate. You're just waking up every day, work the entire day, go to sleep, do it again, over and over and over again. You know, it's not like maybe you're losing creativity or anything like that. It's just like, it's just work. You just know I have to just get this done. All of it just feels like work. It's not just you doing the passionate shit. It's like doing all the other things outside of it that are also important. Almost like when you're an athlete or trying to become one of the best athletes in the world at what you do, it becomes less of, oh, I just got to go to the field and train and that's fun. No, it's everything outside of that. You got to make sure your recovery is good. You got to make sure you're eating well. You got to make sure you're sleeping right. You got to make sure you're stretching well. All of these details go into you reaching the pinnacle of power in whatever path you're on. Specifically here, I was talking about the athlete example, but you just apply this to whatever current path you're on. It all just becomes work. So to then say that really the only way to reach the pinnacle of power of anything is to really just love work and just love effort and just to love pushing yourself just in general. You know, every path is unique for whatever goal you're trying to achieve. But at the end of the day, you just have to learn to love work because your passion for whatever particular thing, it doesn't matter. That's not what's going to take you as far as possible because eventually you're going to have to work harder in order to become better. And you're going to realize that I'm losing this passion because this is starting to just feel like work, but it needs to just feel like work. It needs to just become like this. I'm just working endlessly to gain a ton of power. And that's just something you're going to have to learn to accept eventually. Sooner is obviously better than later, but you're going to have to accept that this is just work. Reaching immense power, especially as a man, is just work. It's just endless effort. The path can be unique, but when it comes to power, it's just you're going to just be working a lot. So you have to learn to love the effort. You have to learn to love the work. You have to decide that no, the work just matters. Putting in effort is what matters the most. Not what path I'm on necessarily. Because I kind of see to myself, I'm like, I could be doing anything. But at the end of the day, because I want to be as powerful as possible, it's like I'm just going to use whatever vehicle I'm in, use whatever skill sets I currently have, and become as powerful as possible. Power is what matters. Power dictates everything, which you'll be capable of doing, where you can go, who you can protect, the nation you're in, defending the nation you're in. You just need power. Doesn't matter the vehicle. It all just becomes work. So you'll get to a point where it's like, really fuck the passion. There's purpose behind what you do, but the effort is really what matters. So it's important. Just tattoo that shit on your brain. It's super important to understand. It's all just work. There is no passion, bro. It just all eventually becomes work. You want to reach the pinnacle of power of anything, it just becomes work.